Hello, dear friends. I first apologize for the lighting. I have been fooling around with the lighting ever since, I don't know, for a while, but I'm going to work on it. I'm going to try to figure out what in the world I need to do. But that's okay. I am here. We are all here. It's been a week, hasn't it? It has been a day, hasn't it? It's been a month just today. And yet it's only been a couple of hours just today. It's just not, it's just been a day. And um, I have never had so much trouble just getting my computer set up as I have today. It's a little bit ridiculous, but that's okay. I have invited my galactic friends along with my human friends here. And the aspects of love, of course, I've invited them to be with us. Seems there's a lot of illness um, around, a lot of germs probably, and viruses and all that. And I think that the message is to rest. I have needed extra sleep for the last week at least, and today I woke up at 10:30. Usually wake up at 8:30, and I woke up and looked at the clock and it was 10:30. So I dreamed a lot, but I don't remember my dreams. I have had a big week. I did a channeling with my son-in-law earlier this week, where an entire group of beings were crowded into my apartment. I could feel the pressure, that I could feel them. I saw some of them in my mind's eye, particularly the praying mantis being. And I ended up channeling the praying mantis. And I've gotten some messages for myself this week, which I'm going to I'm going to share. Um, I have I have been not watching the news, but I have been keeping up with trusted sources on what's happening on the world stage. And I've felt like a little bit of a conflict of should I be should I be watching this? And I realized I'm not engaging emotionally. I'm not being triggered. I'm not judging. I'm able to be in the observer's seat and watch what's going on. Not that it does not break my heart. There's many things that break my heart and surprise me and uh, disappoint me, but I am not standing in judgment of these of anyone, and I have been working on not being judgmental. So I ask, should I be watching these things? And the message that came through was the truth is being revealed. But the other part of the truth being revealed is the the seeing of the truth, the seeing, the realization, and frankly the appropriate shock and sadness and all of those things, but without getting involved and angry and judgmental and picking sides and all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of truths that are going to be revealed. And myself, I am supposed to be aware of these truths because if nobody sees the truth, it's not being revealed. So I am allowing the truth to be revealed to me as this human, and expressing and feeling those feelings that are associated with me being a human, but a human who is not engaged and not participating in all of the, we'll call them lower emotions, the anger, the judgmental, and the emotions of separation. This is what they just gave me. The separation, when we judge, we are separating ourselves. We are saying we are better than that other person, or at least different from that other person. And that separates us. So those emotions are emotions of separation. But the sadness that everybody's feeling is an emotion of oneness. The disappointment that is in the collective, that is, I can't imagine anyone not being disappointed by some of the things that are happening. And of course, the desire for these things to serve a positive purpose, whatever that happens to be, and the recognition that they do serve a positive purpose, and hoping that that purpose will be revealed. But I do feel that I, as one person, am supposed to observe and allow the negative stuff that has happened, all of these things to come, the dishonesty to come up to the surface, so that I can see it and let it go from my personal experience. So that was kind of big. And I also, in living oneness, it is important that instead of we engaged in the negative, the emotions of separation, we find the commonality with the other humans as they are experiencing. And I have found commonalities with other humans that I have previously judged as separate from me. I have experienced failures. I have experienced trauma and many other things that I have experienced, that says that I'm not separate from that other person. And I know that in other lifetimes, I have been all of the roles, the perpetrator, the victim, the onlooker, the all of the different roles that a person or a human can experience. I have been that in other lifetimes. So that's the attitude that I am trying to carry at this moment. And at this point, I would like to just say how much I love you, each and every one, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what part or role you are playing. I am sending love. I'm sending love. And I'm going to express the prayer Ho'oponopono, which translates to, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Because we're all in this together. We've chosen to learn our separate lessons that we, as a soul having an individual experience, have chosen to learn in this lifetime. But we are all in it together And we need each and every other experiencer to be our teacher as we are being their student and their teacher. We are all helping in this. So that was my understanding. That was the information given to me this week. So I'm going to ask that some light language, some gentle and kind and oneness light language comes through to energetically love each and every person, whoever sees this, who doesn't see this. So I ask my galactic friends, my universal friends, to bring some light language through me as I have agreed to transmit these energies through my voice. Thank you. ta cái gì cả ta hasi chikata ta mai ke ta ai la ya ka chaka ta mai ke ta to ya ta kai ya ta mai ta ti ya ta pa dai ta ti ni ana ma ka ta a she te ya ta a sa pe e na ni ana ma ka ta ya ta a la ya ta pa e ke te ya ta a se ana na se ke te a ta ta ayata pakata te atamakate siatata te miate ekete ta ti nyale after koseketa ye na mianatai. They have asked me to explain just a little bit about how this light language happens. First of all, it spontaneously happened to me in about 2018. That was the first that I recognized, although I understand that I was experiencing it before, but I've been doing it ever since then. And in my experience, it does not come through my brain. I do not know what the translation is, that it comes through. I am the observer. I'm sitting there and I'm noticing whether it is fast or slow or loud or quiet, gentle or flowing or staccato or whatever. I notice the language and I notice the difference. I notice some repetitive syllables, but it other than that, it just I feel the energy that comes through and I just allow it to come through. I don't remember it afterwards other than how it felt. And sometimes during the transmission, I get the suggestions of why don't you explain this to them or something like that. So um, that's my explanation, which is I'm just the transmitter. So okay, now I invite the aspects of love to bring forth their representative. And I've asked that the representative come as the as all aspects of himself who are hers. I don't know if you heard that, but I just made some noise in my apartment, but that's okay. I have lots of noise. Maybe it was the arrival of the representative. And then my phone made a noise over here. Okay. Gather myself together. Allow those energies to come through. I am going to look to see if there's It was someone sending me a heart. I needed that. Okay. Thank you, dear. Aspects of love. Mm, mm. We are here. We are here. I am a representative, as you have asked for, and I am what you might recognize as a mantis. Our message to you is, first of all, that of love and and support and even cheerleading for all beings on your earth as we observe from a higher perspective all that is happening. And as we can see that it will come forward and put you in a better place as you each individually choose from your experience. What we mean by that is that many of you are taking the perspective that you are ready and accepting of all of the new things that come through. Others of you are standing back and saying, I don't know that I'm quite ready. These are your souls speaking. And others are saying, I don't think I want to even participate. But we will tell you that each will come forward. The ones that are ready will come into their expanded gifts, their expanded love, their expanding knowing, and some are beginning to experience some new things now. Small things in the big picture because you do not even have any idea how powerful and how expansive and how unlimited you are. So some new things are coming through, uh, but there's more, and there will be more over the next many years. You will expand at your own pace. So those people that are beginning these things are standing there as the forerunners to kind of allow those who are saying, I'm not sure I'm ready, to observe and notice that group over there is really happy and they seem to have what they need and be live abundantly no matter what. I think maybe I'm ready. And then the other group, and there are small groups of every level. But the point is, each group, each person will come forward into their new earth, into their new expansiveness, into their metamorphosis, their transformation in the right timing for them. For the time that you're in right now, we suggest that you allow any release of any old ideas, emotions, experiences, that you allow those releases to happen, that you maintain your whatever practice brings you joy, because that is what you're looking for. Joy is another word for love. So maintain your practices. Remember especially that you have the answers and trust your intuition, your psychic ability, which is the next step from the intuition. Trust that you are much more powerful and much more gifted and much more expansive than you can even imagine. We are here to assist you and to watch over you and to maybe nudge every once in a while, but we do not make the decisions for you. This is your own decision, everything that you might wish to do. So we leave you with that suggestion and our love and a little bit more of our energetic language that is, we have shared it, we will share it directly to your heart of love. And our intention in giving this gift is to expand the love that you feel for yourself. We understand that there might be questions from our two physical beings who are here, who represent all of the other beings who will find this at a later date. Is there a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Thank you.
There have been stories related of UFOs visiting our nuclear warhead silos and someone monkeying around with the firing sequences on occasion. I wonder if you would comment on why this is happening.
What you must understand is that when you use these weapons, the amount of effect that ripples through the universe, your solar system, and beyond is not in their best interest. Of course, everything that you do is shared with all, but most things are manageable. But as you know, nuclear power, when it is used in weaponry, is very, very destructive. And that destruction is not limited just to your earth. And so, even though we do not interfere in your free will, we do interfere in something that is going to affect other beingnesses, other cultures that are not on your earth. So we have intervened. That you've heard of the Galactic Federation. They are the ones who determine when it is time to intervene. And we do intervene. We have intervened several times since the first nuclear blast did happen. And those were allowed because you needed to see how powerful and how destructive they truly are, so that those with a good head on their shoulders could remember and make the decision from a compassionate place rather than from a place of greed and power hungriness. So we do and will intervene when we are instructed by the Galactic Federation. to do so in order to protect not only you, but us as well, so that the ripples do not affect further out. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Good. Is there another question,
Yes, I have a question.
please?
This is somewhat related to what you were discussing earlier, and um, a lot of our perspective on this earth has been that when people do uh, crimes or do evil things, what we do here is we punish people by, well, there are a variety of ways, but prison and other ways of finding justice for these crimes. But I'm thinking from a more perspective of the soul. Does this help anything? Does it matter for the person or the soul of the person who is being, say, incarcerated or put to death in a, what they say is humane or something like that? Um, what is your wisdom on this, please?
Soul is eternal and it does not experience death or punishment. It experiences learning. When you have cultures, and your cultures have been formed around uh, sometimes benevolence and sometimes power and control, but that is also part of your whole earthly learning experience. And you should remember that each soul has decided, this is what I want to learn in this lifetime. And in order to do that, I need to experience this role. So, for instance, in times when witches were persecuted, there would be the witch role, and there would be the persecutor role. So each were teaching each other, and each were having the experiences that they had chosen to learn. The witch was learning their magic and learning how, stepping into a little bit of their power, and the persecutor was experiencing control and judgment. They wanted to learn from their experience of judgment and control, because of course when they persecuted the witch, they didn't feel good either. The witch didn't enjoy her experience, but the persecutor didn't really enjoy his experience momentarily. But you see, that's what I'm saying. They have their roles to play, and those roles are kind of at a cultural level. Um, but the soul level is at a different level, and it is using these experiences to say, oh, okay, that's what happened when I stepped out and experienced the power that I know as a soul that I have. But when I tried that as a human, I got persecuted. So what can I do next life, maybe to change that and open people up to let them know? So the soul is learning from a different standpoint, sort of observing and experiencing the things that the physical body is actually going through. And of course, when you incarnate on earth up to this point, you forgot all of the things that you had learned, at least on a conscious level, and you started over with your learning. So the cultural level has rules that says if you kill someone, you may be put in prison to make amends for the crime that you had. Now that you also have the power hungry people who might incarcerate for their own political reasons and so forth, but they are experiencing from an earthly, cultural, human level. So they are learning something different. So, and the consequences of punishment, if you will, may have the effect of teaching that person, no, I don't think I want to do that again because this was not a fun experience being in this prison. But sometimes there are punishments that don't do any good, and that your current culture uses punishment rather than education and love to teach these aberrations from the cultural norm. So the effectiveness is questionable, but the soul does not participate in the feelings of the punishment. At least that's an oversimplified way of explaining that. Did that answer the question for you?
It added a different perspective, I guess. So that
Well,
usually,
would you like to follow up? You
no,
have
I need to think more about it. Thank you.
sometimes we go in our own direction, but hopefully it is beneficial anyway.
Yeah.
Is there another question?
I'm set.
Um, will mantis beings make themselves present in a physical form so that we will become more comfortable in seeing them, experiencing them?
There, there are reasons that beings of a galactic nature have a similar physical presentation as things that are familiar to you on Earth. So the purpose of the presentation of the mantis being is, you've named that because it appears kind of like your uh, being that is called the praying mantis here on your Earth. So that is that they will make their presence known. They have accepted the name as mantis because that familiarizes yourself with them. So it will be shocking at first when the physical presence shows itself to you.
Mm.
And there are many, many varieties. Can you imagine with thousands and thousands of different planets and places to evolve and different needs on those planets for them to evolve and different levels? There are beings that are made of color only. There are beings that are of all different shapes, sizes, and um, uh, possibilities. So the first ones to show themselves will be the ones that you're kind of familiar with anyway.
Mm.
Um, so for instance, the alien movies show a particular kind of person or being. So you might be familiar with that because you've seen the movie. There are movies such as the Avatar movies that show themselves as a different color. So when those beingnesses that come through as blue beings, you're kind of familiar with them. So yes, there eventually, and it will not be tomorrow or the next day, but when they do come and show themselves, and it will be a very gradual easing into the acceptance of the beautiful variety of cultures. So some of your science fiction movies show uh, scenes where there might be several varieties. And can you imagine how um, beautiful it will be when the difference in those varieties is just not noticed? But first of all, your culture has to come to a place where they don't notice different colors of beings here now. They have to let go of that prejudice because you have there are many who judge by the color of the skin there, and that is not a comfortable place for someone who comes with uh, appendages on their head and so forth that can you imagine how the prejudice might take over and also the fear? And we will tell you that prejudice is a form of fear.
Mhm. Of course.
So did that answer your question?
Yes, that was very interesting, and I agree that we need to get over our prejudices of those who don't necessarily look like us.
You are experiencing on your planet right now the caricature of prejudice, and caricature is not it's not a word that conveys the extreme, the shock, but you have people now who are incarcerating and torturing and killing people just because of the color of their skin, the hue of their skin. That they You also have examples who are going against each other because of certain belief systems that they can't agree with. You you have so many different types of um, perceived differences, perceived reasons for separation. And that is to bring to you the experience of seeing how ridiculous that is. And it will change. And we are happy that it will change. So it can happen overnight, but it will not.
So have
Each
another.
person who is here, who will hear this, we urge you to look inside yourself and identify those places where you feel separation, where you feel different from, better than, less than. because those are not real. Because you are that other person. And that other person is you. Okay. Did that help?
Very much. So, are the artists and creators, let's say Gene Roddenberry and Steven Spielberg, doing a service in this direction by showing us possibilities of what other beings may look like and what their skills and talents may be and such? Are they serving us well by giving us those options?
Yes, they are. And we will say that possibly their imagination might have been inspired. So they're that the imagination is a limitless thing if you allow it to be. You might, as a little exercise, if you feel like drawing or imagining, imagine a being that is not from this earth and draw them and let your mind go wild with it. Just let it move out and then draw another being. Sounds like a fun exercise to me.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you for your questions. We recognize that many are expanding in their decrease in judgment, decrease in prejudice, decrease in separation. And we commend that. Thank you. Is there any other question? Then we will again give you our love in the form of our energetic language, sending straight to your heart. Everyday, cause it, she had to God, I had that bed, and he got teeny, I second bed. I had the back at the tea, but he got that, she had the back at the tea, teeny, Allah, ya,